If you're wondering how we can release tension in our pelvic floor in preparation for birth, watch this video because we're going to break down 3 exercises that you can do to help release tension where most of us tend to carry more during pregnancy. Before we dive into today's pelvic floor release workout, I want to share that my book, Training for Two, is now available for pre-order. The book comes out on September 14th, just a little bit after this baby girl is due, hopefully after she comes. But if you're looking for more on how to stay strong throughout your pregnancy with lifting modifications, with exercises that are safe to do throughout your pregnancy, in addition to like core and pelvic stability exercises to help you stay pain-free, plus those movements to help release tension in your pelvic floor and to create more space in your pelvis, check out our book. It's going to walk you through different movements with videos and pictures and written descriptions on how you can stay strong throughout your pregnancy, pain-free, and prepare for birth. So check it out, pre-order it now. We'd love your support as we move along this new venture for us of becoming an author. During pregnancy, most of us tend to have more tension to the back half of the pelvic floor. So you may be led to believe that tension is throughout the entire pelvic floor, but it actually relates more to our hip and our pelvic position of where we carry more tension. So during pregnancy, most of us tend to have a little bit more length or stretch to the front half of the pelvic floor, but a lot more tension or shortening to the back half of the pelvic floor. And now this is due to our common pelvic positioning. We tend to emphasize more external hip rotation, where the toes are more pointed outwards. So this is going to create more space side to side in the top of the pelvis. However, it tends to decrease space in the bottom of the pelvis, particularly the back half of the pelvic floor. And so this is why the posterior pelvic floor tends to have a little bit more tension during pregnancy. In addition, we also tend to favor more extension in our spine where our pelvis tips more forward. And this also tends to create more tension in the back half of a pelvic floor. And so during this workout, we're going to be emphasizing more of a release in the posterior pelvic floor by helping you to find more internal hip rotation, in addition to a posterior pelvic tilt where we're tucking the butt underneath. This is going to position your pelvis in a way that stretches the back half of the pelvic floor more so than the front half. And so this is going to help to release tension where a lot of us tend to hold it more in our pelvic floor. Another way that we're going to target the release in the back half of the pelvic floor compared to the front is when we breathe in all of these movements, we're going to think inhale to push the back half of the pelvic floor down more. So this back butthole area, you're going to think push out more with your inhalations. And then we're going to exhale to think lift up in the front half of our pelvic floor where our vagina is. So you're going to inhale to think back half of the pelvic floor is stretching, and then exhale to think lift up in the front half of the pelvic floor. What this is doing is it's stretching the back half of the pelvic floor while shortening the front half where we tend to have more length. During each exercise, I'll cue you through each of these breaths so that you can feel the lengthening towards the back and the lifting in the front to help with finding more balance within your pelvic floor. In this workout, you'll need a long resistance band that can reach across your backside into your hands. You'll need a yoga block and then a birth ball for our final exercise. We're going to do about 1 minute per movement, but you can spend a little bit longer if you would like, and you can also repeat this workout if you feel like you have a little bit more tension that you want to release. So we'll start with the first exercise. You're going to use your yoga block and your long resistance band. You're going to take the yoga block and place it between your thighs, so we're increasing inner thigh activation. And then you're going to take your heels and point them out more. So this is going to help you to find more of that internal hip rotation. I'm actively squeezing with this block and my toes are more outwards. Next, I'm going to take this resistance band and put it across my low back area. So kind of in between where my bra strap line is. And this is going to help me to think push into the band to find more of a rounded back position. With this rounded back and more internal hip rotation, I'm stretching more of the back half of my pelvic floor. And this is also going to make it a lot easier for me to breathe into that space as well to help stretch it. So from here, you can even tuck your chin to your chest if that helps. I'm going to start by thinking to inhale to the back half of my pelvic floor. You can also think just inhale to your low back area. And then exhale, I'm going to think lift up in the front half of my pelvic floor as I kind of pull baby to spine. When I do that, it's going to help me to find even more of a rounded position. So big inhale to the back, and then exhale to lift to the front. Inhale to the back. Exhale, lift to the front. And then we're going to just continue through this breathing style for about 15 more breaths. So big inhale to the back. Exhale, lift to the front. About 5 more breaths here. Still think squeeze that block, push through that band. Inhale to the back half of your pelvic floor. And then exhale to lift in the front. One more breath. Release the band, and we're going to release the block from between our thighs. Now we're going to move into an all fours hip shift, which is going to stretch one half of the posterior pelvic floor a little bit more. So you're going to place one knee onto your yoga block, and then you're going to shift your weight towards that elevated hip. And so you should already feel a little bit more of a stretch in that glute. In addition, you can lift that lower leg without changing your body position at all. This is how you know that you've shifted over. If you haven't shifted over and you try to lift the knee, your body would have to shift around to help you maintain your position. So shift the weight over to that elevated hip. If you need to, you can walk the hands a little bit forward if belly is uncomfortable against your thighs. And we're feeling this stretch in this back glute pocket here. From here, I'm going to round in my back as I exhale to pull baby to spine. And then I can take another inhale here to my back, and then exhale, lift in the front. So we're going to start with just 10 breaths in this position, and then we're going to move through pelvic tilt. So big inhale to the back, exhale, lift in the front. Inhale to the back, exhale, lift in the front. About 2 more breaths. And now we're going to move through pelvic tilt. So I'm going to inhale to drop my belly to the floor, and then exhale to round as I pull belly to spine. So inhale to drop, and then exhale to round. And we'll move through about 10 of these, and then we'll switch to the other side. So big inhale to drop belly to floor, and then exhale to round. Keep your weight shifted over that yoga block. About 2 more. And let's switch to the other side. So you're going to bring that yoga block underneath your opposite knee now. Shift your weight over so that way you can lift the bottom knee without changing your position. You should feel a little bit of a stretch in this back glute pocket. And then we'll start by pushing through your hands to round in your back. So think belly away from the floor. And then we're going to take 10 breaths here. So big inhale, exhale, inhale to the back, exhale to the front. Inhale to feel more stretching to the back. So really inhaling down and then exhale to lift. About 3 more breaths here. Last one. Then inhale, drop the belly to the floor, and exhale to round. And we'll move through about 10 pelvic tilts here, keeping that weight shifted towards that elevated hip. Inhale, belly to the floor. Exhale to round and lift belly up. Two more. Last one. Now you can move the yoga block in between your legs so that it's something that you can sit down onto so that we find more internal hip rotation. So knees are together and ankles are more outwards to find that internal hip rotation. And then we're going to bring our birth ball in front of us to give some additional support. If you want more, you can remove the yoga block and you can sit down to the floor, but choose whatever feels more comfortable for you. So we can start here, think round in the back. So you're almost kind of pull the yoga block towards you or the birth ball towards you to find a more rounded position. And then breathe here for a few breaths. So big inhale to the back. Exhale, lift to the front. About one more breath here. And now we're going to come forward so we find a little bit more arch in the back. And then we're going to come back to sit back and round. So inhale to come forward to arch. And then exhale to sit back and round in our back. So inhales forward and then exhales back. And we're going to do about 10 of these. So I think we got like 6 left to do. About 2 more. Last one. If you enjoy this workout, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you get notified whenever we release new workouts. We release 1 to 2 new workout videos every week, in addition to 1 to 2 educational videos every week to help support your pregnancy, your birth, and beyond. If you want more support throughout your pregnancy, join our prenatal fitness programs. We incorporate movements to help you find more of that internal hip rotation, more of that rounded back position in posterior pelvic tilt to release those common areas of tension to enhance your pelvic floor function as we create more space within your pelvis for birth. And so our prenatal fitness programs are more than just pregnancy-safe workouts that include squats and lots of wide leg movements. We're incorporating a lot of movements to help keep you strong, pain-free, in addition to help to prepare you for birth. You can bundle our prenatal fitness programs with our childbirth education course, which teaches you the science of birth and kind of the why behind all of the concepts that we incorporate into our prenatal fitness programs. And you can save an additional 15% by bundling them together. You can use code YouTube10 to save an additional 10% off as well, and we'll link them down in the notes below. If you enjoyed this workout and you want more workouts like this, comment below to let us know what type of workouts that you're looking for so we can make a video to help support you.